CEO, GM, and head of creative of AEW, fresh off of the 5-year anniversary historic Double or Nothing pay-per-view event in Las Vegas, Nevada, here in advance of tonight's AEW Dynamite live from the Kia Forum just up the road here in LA, 8 Eastern time, that you can watch live on TBS. Tony Khan is here. Good to see you, Tony.
Thank you, Rich. It's great to be back.
Thank you, sir. And it's round of applause worthy for sure, because we just covered in our radio free but TV only segment that we should hit again a little bit here, is that your neck brace is off.
Yes.
Your freedom of movement is back, correct?
Yes. My freedom of movement is back, and as I was just saying on Roku, to bring it into the radio audience,
yes, sir,
I'm very grateful to you, because you helped bring my recovery and the fact that I was in the neck brace into the public consciousness. And for those who don't know, I run a wrestling league called AEW.
Yes.
We're on TBS and TNT every week. We've got a show tonight on TBS, Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Yes.
I know a lot of people don't watch wrestling, but for those people who do, to be in the NFL draft and have somebody of your stature, Rich, mention.
Well, I was concerned for your welfare. You're sitting there in a neck brace. I've never seen an executive wearing a neck brace in the draft room. I mean, you are the chief football strategy officer of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've not seen anybody in a draft room in a neck brace before.
This is like our Andy Kaufman moment, Rich.
So what were you doing, Tony? What the heck were you doing in the ring? What were you doing?
Well, so what happened is Jack Perry, he started in AEW 5 years ago on our first show. His name is Jungle Boy. He's Hollywood royalty. He's the son of the late, great Luke Perry.
Yes, indeed.
And Jack Perry's been with us since he was very young, and I've always had a great relationship with Jack. And there was a backstage incident. Jack went away for a while, almost on loan to New Japan Pro Wrestling. We worked it out. He had a visa. He was away from AEW. He did a great tour and really reestablished himself. I was excited to reinstate Jack into AEW. And the night before the draft, we met in the ring. I offered Jack his spot back. We shook hands. It was a great moment, or so I thought. Then he punched me with a microphone in the stomach, and Matt and Nick, the Young Bucks, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, who famously wrestled Sting in his last ever match. They were really with us from the beginning of AEW. They've been great friends of mine to this point. They helped me up, I thought, only to give me a spike pile driver. They'd renamed it the Tony Khan driver, the TK driver. I should have seen it coming. It had my name written all over it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, I was taken to the back. I was evaluated, and then they told me, you're injured. You need to stay in Jacksonville. And these guys just ran wild on AEW. I was trying to maintain order from Jacksonville remotely while I worked. And, of course, with the NFL draft, thankfully, I was able to work on the NFL draft. We had a show live in Jacksonville on Saturday right after the draft. So NFL Films was following me around in the neck brace while I ran back and forth from like a speed dating episode, or like the Boy Meets World episode where Corey is both with the wrestling show and trying to date Topanga. And it was like that. And I was like, doing the undrafted free agency and going back and forth with AEW Collision, which was live after NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
Of course, like one of those crazy things. Of course, it was the first time in AEW history they asked us to go on early, because the Celtics Heat game was a blowout, and they asked us to start 10 minutes early. So that was, of all the days, draft Saturday while I'm doing undrafted free agency, I had to run back over to Daly's place, start the show. It was something, and NFL Films shot the whole thing.
When are we seeing the contents of that?
Hopefully soon. I think they're putting together something. Last year, great chance to plug our friends here at Roku.
Sure. The pick is in.
The whole pick is in, my friend. Yes.
Right.
This is synergy. Last year, Roku filmed what I believe is their biggest documentary ever, which was the pick is in. It was the 2023 NFL draft, following around the Cowboys, the Panthers, the Colts, and the Jaguars.
Right.
And they were with us throughout the draft. And then, coming out of the pick is in, they actually, the post-credits scene is I signed a player in undrafted free agency, Elijah Cooks. He was the only undrafted free agent that made the Jaguars. And I'm with him on the phone. And then we go the following Wednesday to Baltimore, and the crew came to AEW Dynamite. And this year we thought, let's bring AEW to Jacksonville. So we did the whole thing around the draft, bookended the draft Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to make for good content.
Dude. Okay. Is this part of the pick is in for the next year? Or we
I
don't know
hope
yet?
so. I hope we can do more with Roku.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
not sure how the NFL Films is going to.
They shot it again. The pick is in is coming out again.
Well, I hope that's what it's going to be, is because this would be really good footage for it. And the neck brace was.
The neck is in.
Very good.
We can rename the documentary.
This is the stuff.
The neck is in.
Stuff that didn't make the Tom Brady roast.
Speaking of the Kia Forum, where the Tom Brady roast took place, AEW Dynamite is live there tonight, and it starts at 8 Eastern, 5 out here in Los Angeles. You can watch it live on TBS. So what are you thinking about 5 years in? Are you where you want to be with AEW right now?
It's a really exciting time. When we started, we only had 2 hours of TV, and we were only doing shows on TNT. And now we're doing 5 hours Wednesday, Friday, Saturday on TBS and TNT.
Right.
And it's just expanded, grown so much. And it really, the roster has grown and the fan base worldwide has grown. The last time I saw you, we hadn't done our biggest accomplishment ever. We went last summer and set the world record for ticket sales in pro wrestling at Wembley Stadium.
Right.
81,035 tickets. More than any WrestleMania, more than any wrestling show ever has ever sold. And it's a big deal for us. And, a lot of people don't know that AEW set that record. We're going back to Wembley Stadium this summer, August 25th, again, the same weekend, trying to make history again, do something special. And I think when we started, we thought we'd do a lot of cool stuff. But that, to me, when we saw the packed Wembley Stadium, like when we have a Jaguars game or when I've been there with Fulham, it reminded me of the same size of crowd, and I think I might be the only person across 3 different sports to have had franchises put over 80,000 people in there.
Well, the pay-per-view All In, again, you said it set records, and it's great to see Jerry Jones is supporting you. That's what he's talking about, and the Cowboys are going all in? Is that what he's referring to?
Yeah, I think so.
For your pay-per-view events?
I hope that's what Jerry means. He's a good friend, and that's the kind of plugs you want from your friends.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, you want support from your colleagues in membership. In the
like
NFL.
you.
Yeah, well, but you know what? I mean, Jerry would probably mention your neck brace as well. What's next? Like, what do you want to do next? You're going to sign more people? What do you got? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a really big year for us. It's a huge time for AEW. We're going into our media rights renewal.
Right.
There's huge opportunities like in streaming, which this is one of the great shows out there in streaming.
Thank you,
favorite,
sir.
my personal favorite. And
Thanks, Tony.
We've got really big opportunities because we built this great library with, about 250 episodes coming up now of AEW Dynamite.
Right.
And we've done thousands of hours across AEW and another company I acquired, Ring of Honor. So with that library, I think there's a huge opportunity to build something into a streaming service. We expanded our pay-per-view calendar this year. Now we're up to 9 events, which is crazy from where we started. And the pay-per-view has continued to grow and grow. Last year was our biggest year ever. And I think this year's off to our best start ever. Probably the greatest night I've ever had in wrestling was this year in 2024, Sting's last match. Mm-hmm. It was the greatest experience. In AEW, I would equate Sting's run to the recent run in films of Tom Cruise. Everybody who's pretty much ever seen a movie knows who Tom Cruise is. And if you've ever watched wrestling, you know Sting. Both of them kind of look very similar now to what they looked like, just close enough. And they've aged so well. And both of them decided in their 60s to become these crazy stuntmen and do all this wild stuff that they really didn't do when they were younger. And probably both of them in the last 5 years did more crazy stuff than they had in the previous 25 combined.
Right.
And Sting was so great for AEW. So at Revolution versus the Young Bucks, Sting teamed with Darby. He ended his run in AEW undefeated, and he was the sweetest man backstage. I think all the fans could see how much all the wrestlers respected Sting, and to give him like the perfect send-off from AEW, I thought it was awesome.
What about poaching somebody from WWE? What about signing any free agents from there?
Well, we've done well. We just brought in the brand new TBS champion who's going to appear on AEW tonight, Mercedes Moné, who's a former champion in WWE. We brought in some international stars that I think are some of the top stars. We also had, to me, one of the best free agents we could get, the rated R superstar, Adam Copeland. he was supposed to be appearing tonight at the Forum, and he had a big role in the show tonight. It's been one of those long weeks for me. I've been doing rewrites and up all night working because Adam was going to be a big part of the show. He's the TNT champion as it stands right now, and he jumped off the top of the cage at Double or Nothing. And Adam's a huge part of what we do. I wasn't expecting him to be out with a fractured leg.
Right.
So that's probably one of the biggest free agents you can get, and he's come in the past year. I think in the future we'd be very open to that if there's people that want to come to AEW, and I think there will be people that want to come here because right now I say this is where the best wrestle because I believe we have the best roster, and that's our mindset. You know, I think we've had so far this year 3 for 3 on pay-per-view. They've all been really great. It's a great run for us, not unlike the great 3 for 3 run I saw you have recently. I was watching the show and you had Jerry Seinfeld on, and it was one of the best interviews I've ever seen.
You're nice, Tony.
And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the platform and the whole thing, and it's like the whole set is now immortalized by Jerry.
I have not made any changes. No, that has not happened.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you didn't listen to suggestions. And and then on Saturday Night Live to hear
name checked
talk about you and the show, that was awesome. And then to see you at the Tom Brady roast, it was awesome. And you know, I thought that was like the coolest 3 things I saw probably ever for somebody in a week.
Thanks, bud.
And now, you know, I think, like I said, we're on a great run in AEW, but nobody's going to touch the run you've been on.
Yeah,
man.
you're such a charmer, Tony Khan. But I mean, it's not like the NFL where you can't mention names. Is it tampering or anything like that sort of thing?
It's like, I think it's the same mindset where it's like, I don't want to try to tamper and do those things.
Sure.
I try to keep it classy, and I really have a reputation for honesty, and I really want to be a fair businessman. But it's you know, the wrestling business is a really cutthroat business.
Well, I mean, obviously you can get TK Driver. I mean, you know, Becky Lynch is a free agent within a week. So is that a name that you'd be interested in?
Well, I mean, again, you just you invoked the tampering word, the T word.
Okay.
But TJ's over
You can
there.
only talk about the players who are here, Rich.
That's right. You go, well,
Yeah.
But TJ's over there. You would advocate for something like that?
I mean, she's one of the biggest stars on the planet Earth. So anyone who has any type of wrestling company should be making that phone call to her because she brings a huge fan base.
Absolutely.
And
Great
massive star power.
Okay. Tony Khan here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, you know, in the few minutes I have left with you here, I do want to hit on a couple things going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars, including your former kicker, now on the Washington Commanders, Brandon McManus, accused of doing all sorts of awful stuff on a team plane on a flight to London. What's your comment on that, or your approach plan?
Well, the team made a statement about it, and there's not much I can say, but I think it's you know, something they're looking into. But yeah, I can't really say much about it, Rich.
Okay, and it's something that, you know, I assume you've been on the flight to London with the team or anything like that. I mean,
I was not there.
Okay,
and the last time I took the trip with the team was about 10 years ago.
Okay, so you're saying the team is looking into this right now. Okay,
yeah.
And your quarterback appears to be in line for a new contract. What's the current approach with Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars now, Tony?
Trevor Lawrence is somebody who's coming to the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise and really, I think, changed the city. I mean, people have rallied around Trevor. He's changed the team. He's a leader on and off the field. And the success we've had with Trevor, I think we can have even more success with him. And I think he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and he's only going to keep getting better and better. So we definitely want Trevor to be here as long as he's playing football. We hope it's with the Jaguars.
And is it something that that your general manager Trent Baalke is already on, or what is your general approach? Because the reason why I ask this is signing somebody sooner before the market gets bigger is an approach that some teams take, others do not. What is your philosophy on that front, Tony?
Well, I think that with Trevor, you have to absolutely lock up a player like that. And I know that we're talking to him, and there's, you know, Trent's having good conversations with him, and my dad's having good conversations with Trevor, and we all want him to be a Jaguar for a very long time. I think since Doug Peterson arrived at the Jaguars, so many great things have happened, and Doug is the leader of this team. And with Trevor on the field with Doug together, the success they've had, it's been a lot better than anything we've done in Jacksonville, even long before my dad had bought the team. And I think we can continue winning games. And last year down the stretch, we had some injuries and some things that did not go our way. And I definitely think Doug and Trevor and the whole team are going to be in a really good place going into this offseason. And like I said, we want Trevor to be in Jacksonville a long time.
Yeah, I was talking about that with the guys here yesterday, that when I did meet with your team prior to the game against the Bills, I think in Tottenham last year. Yep. And everybody, Trevor Lawrence, Doug Peterson, and Christian Kirk were talking about their relationship together. And I thought Christian Kirk going down was maybe the worst injury of them all. You know, I know Trevor was definitely dinged up, but he got hurt for the rest of the season, essentially, in the game that Trevor went down with an ankle injury. It looked terrible. That was the crusher, because I think they talk about the chemistry between your quarterback and Christian Kirk more so than anybody else on that team.
I completely agree with that. I think you're completely right, and that's what I've been saying too. Christian Kirk's a huge part of what we do, but we have to come together as a team, and I do think everybody rallying together and working together, when a player goes down, we still have to win games. We're all accountable, but Christian Kirk's one of our top players, and I do think when you look at the prior season and everything went our way, and we had all these great comebacks, the 2022 season is such an amazing memory. We set the record for home comebacks and really were the comeback kids, and then took it into the playoffs. And we were down 27 points. And when we got it to 20 at halftime, I looked at Trent and I said, I still think we're going to win. And the fact we've had nothing go our way in the first half, and the fact we cut it to 20 and we're at home and we've been having all these comebacks, and we set the record for double-digit home comebacks. So that was the biggest one of all. And I think that the following season, like you said, with Christian Kirk and some of the other injuries that happened, we didn't win all the games down the stretch, but I really believe Doug and the staff he's put together and this roster, we should win a lot of games, and I think we will. Yeah, Josh Allen and getting him in the fold. I was also so impressed with his desire to be great. The things that he was saying. I think he brought his own hyperbaric chamber with him over to London. I mean, and he was talking about his family and his dedication to the craft. We were all like blown away by him. Yeah, he's a good dude. All right, Josh is fantastic. Josh Allen is really great, and that was one of the really important things we did was lock Josh Allen up for sure. All right, before I let you go, when I did give you the shout out during the draft in your neck brace, I did say through the television screen, I would like that neck brace. I would like you to sign it, and I would like to auction it off for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Yes. And you indicated a 100% yes. And is that the neck brace that's in the chair right next to you? That is the neck brace. And I'll tell you what, Rich, yes, I'm going to sign it, and I'm going to be the one to buy the auction, and I'm going to keep it here at the show, and I will buy it for $100,000. Wow! To St. Jude's, and for you in the show, and let's keep the neck brace here. And is that okay? Yes, beyond. And it is beyond. Your generosity is overwhelming, and I thank you. My God. Well, it's on behalf of AEW and for AEW and the Rich Eisen Show. I would gladly put $100,000 into St. Jude's and Run Rich Run. And I think, Rich, what you do for St. Jude's with Run Rich Run is one of the best things anybody in football does, and I respect the heck out of it. And that's why, on behalf of AEW, I'd like to sign this neck brace and keep it here with all your great memorabilia. Yeah, buddy. And then I'll donate $100,000. There you go, Tony. Come on. All right, here we go. Let's go. Get the Sharpie. Let's do it. There it is. The lefty, the southpaw. Putting his Tony Khan on it. Yeah. The TK driver. The AEW. Survivor. AEW. W. That's a Bret Hart reference.
Very good.
For TJ, I don't know if TJ
There it is. Yeah,
he
he's
likes that.
photographing
That's
it
fantastic.
right now.
By the way,
You are so kind.
ask TJ about his shirt.
There it is. TJ, go sit down,
Nice shirt, TJ.
please. There it is.
Wow.
This is what helped him survive the TK driver. It is game used, if you will, draft used. Thank you.
God bless you.
Oh my God,
Amazing.
bless you, and on behalf of everyone at St. Jude, bless you.
That's
Thank you.
incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you. There it is.
How about that? And about
God
the
bless
shirt.
you, TJ.
Thank you, Tony. About the shirt, Rich, this is Kazuchika Okada. He was basically the biggest star in New Japan. He was as big as any wrestler could ever get over in Japan. But of course, to really make it big in wrestling, you got to come over to America, and that's what Kazuchika Okada did. He aligned himself with the Elite and the Young Bucks, so I don't know how happy that made people. As a matter of fact, Tony, I think it was Okada's idea to have them put you in the TK driver. She may want to talk to him about that a little
Yeah,
bit. but-
he was the one who probably signaled to those guys, like, let's do something worse to him, and he gave him the thumbs up to put me up. And he is, like TJ said, probably the greatest free agent wrestler ever out of Japan, and he signed with us recently. He's the AEW Continental Champion, and I'm not a big fan of what the Young Bucks did to me with the neck brace, but I am glad that something good came of it.
Yes.
With AEW and Rich Eisen Show and Run Rich Run coming together. And it is my pleasure to donate $100,000 on behalf of AEW to St. Jude's. Thanks to you, Rich.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're a really good
amazing.
man, Tony Khan. Everybody should check out AEW Dynamite tonight from the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California, 8 Eastern time, and you could watch that live on TBS. Bless you. Say hi to your fam.
Yeah, I will.
Say hi to your coach and your GM and everybody back there in Duval.
I will. My dad loves you, so I will tell him you
Right
say
back
hi.
at him. Right back at him.
Duval.
AEW right here. We're going to keep this on the set, and on behalf of
cool.
everyone at St. Jude's, bless you. Thank you so much.
God bless.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.